Hey, Foreman. Um, I'm using a different computer today. This is a more powerful one, so I'm hoping to. And I'm going to quit that. There we go. Um, if Clyde comes on today, be sure to ask him about his watches or he gets tested. Okay. Um, I tell you why we're getting started. Howdy. One of the things that I keep coming back to, at least for me, this is a Maurice Lacroix, and in it is a very unusual movement. Hi, David, and hi, Muhammad. And I'm wearing my Maurice Lacroix. It's called a masterpiece, and as you can see, it's rectangular. This is the larger of the two. They have two models of this. One with a perfectly fitting uh, movement. You can see through the movement window, and this one's a little bigger, so I don't know if you can see it or not. Let me take it off here. There we go. The movement on this one is square. It, and this is sort of the mystery that I have, and I'm having sort of, whenever I have time, I try to find out more about it, and I think that this might be something that you guys might find interesting as well. Hi, Bill. Is that here was a movement that was made, I think, either in the early 2000s. Yeah, I think it was the early 2000s by a guy named, I think his name was Pierre Jacquet. And he had a company called Jacquet SA. I think I've talked about this before. And he was an assembler. And basically what he did, he'd buy iboshes from ETA and then assemble them and then sell them. In fact, but he got caught and had to go to jail, right? Hi, Inkart. And, but the thing is, he went to jail and now he's out of jail. And, uh, what's his name? Roland Murphy of RGM watches also used this same movement in one of his. And the thing that I'm trying to do, I can't find out anything more about it because it's not an ETA movement, and it's something else. I talked to a guy who really knows watches, and I thought it was an ETA. I thought it was basically rearranged or cut around a bigger one, but he said no, it's not. So I said, well, what is it? And he doesn't know either. So I've been trying to contact. I think his name's Pierre. I'll get his full name right. I'm trying to contact him and find out more about this movement. And so I thought, well, we'll have a contest. I have some more watches. High heels, just good to see you too. Oh, and what I do is that have a win one of the prize watches we have. I think I had a total of six. Three of the watches are going to be going to the winners of the Grand Prix picks. One of them has already been won, and the yes, Forbin, that's exactly right. Yeah, the design challenge of making circular gears to fit squarely. That would be a huge challenge, or something else happened, or it was something that they said, well, we're going to start from scratch. I don't know. Hi, Sean. Um, so it's a funny kind of thing. It's one of these deals where uh, it it's a real mystery. Now, beside the Maurice Lacroix, it was also used in Hi Jay. It was also used in see who else? Dunhill. Dunhill used it. Okay, I'm going to say this wrong. Baume et Mercier. Okay, let's see who else. those are the main ones. Was Maurice Lacroix, Bohm, and Mercier. Oh, there was another one too, and I forgot the name of it. But anyway, they're these watch companies now used in the Concorde. I think you're right. Yes, the Concorde could have been one of them too. And but I'm trying to find out who made it. I mean, I'm pretty sure um, Jacquet made it. That I'm because of the timing of when it was made and so forth. And then La Joux Perret took it over after they renamed Jacquet SA La Joux Perret. They took over and they were selling it as 736. Now 736 is the reference is the caliber on it, and it's but finding out more about it is sort of interesting. So I thought, well, what I'll do is that a couple of things. If I'd like to be able to contact um, Jacquet. It's sort of been a bit of a mystery, and which makes it even more interesting. Usually, you can sort of scroll through one of these searches and find these guys. I've got my cup ready. So anyway, I, I hate. I'm going to see Roland Murphy at the show in New York next month. By the way, too, if you can go to that, go. I think it's October 25th and 26th, something like that. If you can go to that watch show, it is fantastic, especially the Friday night party. It is more fun. Terry Wooten is going to be there again. That I'm very excited about. Also, for the first time, Beauvais is going to be there. I was invited to Geneva last winter to at a thing that Pascal Raffi had for his company Beauvais, and I couldn't go because my wife wouldn't let me. Okay, let's go. It's cold in Switzerland, not compared to New England. Okay, no. So anyway, so if you have any information or can find some information, we'll have a contest, and whoever comes up with the best information, I'll give one of the prize watches to. All right. Okay, Alexander, what happened to your books? Oh, yeah, I tell you, no, I had to. I've been sort of divesting in a lot of stuff. Um, Most of the books that are left up there are ones I had written, and so that I got to fix that up. There were a lot of there were a lot of they were translated into a lot of different languages, and so I like to keep the English language as well as one each of the translations. So what I did today, I took a bunch of them and I took them down to the this place we have that collects books, and I guess they give them away or recycle them or do something with them. So anyway, sorry about that. Yeah, it is a mess. I should have it cleaned up. This is this shouldn't be here either. This is for big brothers and big sisters. They also they take donations. So anyway, I got a lot of stuff to donate, except for watches. Okay, put out of context, I really want to know what you think about the watches with 2, 3, or sometimes 4 tourbillons. And I'm like, Gerbil Forsyth. I'm not a tourbillon guy. Okay, I know a lot of people love them and they're interesting. And here's why I don't like them. 3 reasons. Well, 2 really. One is that tourbillons are super expensive to buy. They add a great deal to the price of a watch. Second of all, they don't really add anything. And third, um, the third point is it costs a fortune to have them serviced. I was looking at some service things that they had on different watches, and they had all of the service prices, and for a Tourbillon, it went crazy. Hey, Clyde, what's up, man? Okay, send me an email if you'd please. All right. By the way, Clyde is starting to review watches. He's starting up starting to review them, and so it's something I certainly want to see. It's I'm still doing it, but it's as Clyde will find out, it's a lot of work. Okay, Tourbillon is just waiting for astronaut floating in the inky. Yeah, maybe that's it. Okay. So, like I said, if there's anybody who knows anything about that, let me know. Okay, tourbillons are useful now. They tell the seconds, so that if like an ornamental small seconds, then they now have Hacken seconds. Okay, I'm just forwarding you all the hard ones. Okay, Clyde. Don't do that. Okay. Tourbillons are like Microsoft functionality for the sake of sale. We have a very wonderful guy who's a collector. He got some fantastic watches. Who works for Microsoft. So we're not going to use any analogies like that. Okay, functionality for the sake of sale. Okay, my background in computers, I used to have to do a lot of stuff with PCs. I call them PCs, so Dell's or Microsoft based. But it was basically I used them as servers. I would a server platform that stick an Apache server on them and park them and use them for that. You have to upgrade those things so much. What I really like is Linux. All right, that's enough off the subject stuff. Okay. Hi, Mark. Um, so listen, one of the things I'm going to pass on today is that because we talked about it so much the other day is microcomputers. No, what I'm going to talk about today is just sort of general topics about watches. Somebody had said on one of the comments on the video, Sunday's video that I had, they said, we really don't know anything about what's going on with the FP Journe and the Chanel, partial purchase of FP Journe. And we really ought to wait until we have more information to speculate. I think that's a good idea. And so I don't think there's anything you can say that we didn't, sort of speculate on the other day unless somebody found out something new. So even though that's an interesting, fun topic, I think we sort of done that one in. What right now do you think is the most important thing about mechanical watches and watch collection? Of all of the things that you say, well, somebody ought to talk about this or do something about this, what would be one of the things? I think Mr. Journe just figured out a great way to get a discount on his wife's favorite perfume or his girlfriend's favorite perfume, whichever. Mr. Journe has quite a reputation. Movement efficiency. Okay, let's talk about movement efficiency. Now, Bill, what is it about movement efficiency that you think would be in terms of what? Before we start talking about that, though, let me quote something from Philippe Dufour. He said that just about everything that can be done in far as pushing the technology of mechanical watchmaking has been done and are sort of have been invented. And so what we're doing now is we're perfecting certain techniques and finding other ones. Let me give you my favorite example is the Remontoir d'Égalité, which is the little gizmo that's in some watches, not very many, that will make certain that the time is kept with the same level of power. This is has to do with sort of power drain. Some watches they use like this my FP Journe Chronomet Souverain has two barrels and they only use 80% and of the first part. They only use 20% of the first and 20% and cut off 20% of that. I'm saying it all wrong. They just use the middle 80%, and then in that way they get a steady force. But you know that's just one solution. What are some other ones? Okay, Valjoux 7750 versus El Primero. Let's see, are lever movements more efficient than column movements? And I do know the difference. And do I know the difference? I don't know. They have different strength. Okay, NEFPs, you want to sell at a discount. Clyde, I tell you, the FP Journes, the ones I bought, year before last, have gone up so much. One's more than doubled, at least from the sales prices I've seen. It's sort of like getting a Rolex. You know, it's like having a Bitcoin. You can spend it. Steve Bow. Oh, thanks, guys. Thanks, Steve. That was awfully nice. Steve, you got that half right. Okay. Yeah, that's true. Okay, implanting constant force in a modern wristwatch without a Fusée chain. What's wrong with the Fusée chain? How come we can't use those still? Hey, Rhubarb, how you doing? How you guys can talk about watches when the question muffin hangs in the... This is... It could be a lot of things. All right. Implementing. You guys... Okay. No, I know you're not. All right, let me show you my shirt. All right, it's a dangerous cupcake. There's a guy named in Boston. He's got the shirt company named Johnny Cupcake. And the thing I like about Johnny Cupcake shirts and designs is that they're all, well, and again, I don't want to sound ethnocentric, but they're all made in the U.S. The T-shirts are, the designs are, everything is. They're placed up in Boston. I've got most of my other T-shirts are made in all over the world, but not this one. Okay, that's all there is about it. Fusée chain is bulky but delicate. Bill, I'm sure that's true. I mean, I want one anyway. That's one thing. That to me is a really interesting movement. I met a guy. He showed me. He had bought 1,000 movements with a Fusée chain. And I asked him, I said, what are you going to do with those? He said, I don't know. He's got a deal on them. And he's got all these Fusée chains. I would love to have one of those movements. You know what would be fun? I really would like to have a Vaucherot movement. The other day I had I guess I took it out of the case. I had my my watch in the case with the hands on it and everything. But what I had to do was that I got I didn't want to have the small second on my on the dial because the dial was made out of had an enamel covering on it, and I'd have to drill a hole in. I didn't want to do that, and it didn't have any second indexes. And so what I had to do was to cut down the fourth wheel, which is the second wheel. But when I did that, there were certain other things that were interesting that happened. I finally got it down to a point that it still needs some work on it. So anyway, that's some more work I've got to do. But here's what I was thinking of. Wouldn't it be neat if we got if we all could sort of get a hold of a washer movement? Now those things are about they range in price. The ones I want are right around $1,000 a pop, and you got to buy 25. Well, that means you have to come up with $25,000. Some guy who was on the uh, high horology forum was asking. He was either that or on Dials and Movement, one of the two. He was asking about. He said, "Well, he's going to make this new watch." Myself and some other were trying to say, "Hey, if you got any extra ones you want to sell them, let me know." Okay, nothing wrong with CNC machines. Makes for fine tolerances. Collection of types of movement side by side. The Uniedas 6498, yes, my cheapo phony finger is damn near quartz accurate. Does someone really spend their time regulating it or just get very, very lucky? And Clyde, by the way, I love the 6498. Now, there's something else about them that's interesting is that they run at 3 hertz at 21,600 instead of the more common 4 hertz, like virtually every Rolex, I think. And nothing wrong with 4 because 4 hertz is sort of the standard, but all of the really good ones are counting the 6498 and 6497. Those are really good movements. Now, what I did with mine when I got it, I put it on the time grapher, and it was pretty good, but I wanted to make it better, and I had it within 1 second a day, which is extremely good. Okay. Any mention in the watchmaking class as to the future of job prospects for young trained watchmakers? Boy, Steve, I got a feeling there's probably a pretty good demand. I would wonder about that. It's like guys who want to go into programming, computer programming. It's you have to learn it, and once you learn it, the learning process itself can be fun. Then you go out and experiment with all different kinds of things. And I think you can do that with watchmaking. But I got to tell you, it's really it just sort of very high concentration kind of work. Um, so you know, um, I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to do it. The same thing with programming. Learning programming is fun, but man, I tell you, you got to work at some place. You got deadlines and all kinds of things, and have to work on things that are not as much fun as just sort of programming whatever you want. So I don't know. I think that as far as the job prospects are concerned, I just don't know. I know that they're trying to get more people interested in it, but I just don't know. Okay, spring drive movement. I'm sorry, Mohammed. Okay, where's the question about the spring drive movement? You want to, let me see, yeah. Hey, Rasher, being hundreds of years old, the correct mathematics of the Fuzi was not presented until 1980. That's interesting. I didn't know that. Um, Watching class, future. Johnny, Johnny Unitas. Okay. Yeah, his jersey number was 6498. Johnny Unitas. Okay, let's see. Okay, where's that question? The current programming language are not like the types of programming you did. Assemblers, C, etc. I loved assembler. In fact, I made my own assembler. Um, the okay, your son's asking and applying at the moment. I don't know if it's something that he likes on a day in and day out basis, and he's good at the high concentration that's required for watchmaking. I think there'd be plenty of opportunities. Okay, they closed the watchmaking school in Oklahoma. Only 9 left in the U.S. Yeah, it's not as it's not a big industry, but I think if you Steve, did your son go into there's a Swiss school called Wesop or something like that for watchmaking. Um, learning another trade than watchmaking as a living. You're betting a lot of mechanical watches will be enjoyed 20 years from now. Do we think so? Ah, boy. Oh, there's one in Amish country. Yeah, the thing is that you talk to a guy like Roland Murphy. It'd be sort of interesting to see what he has to say about that. I think Forbin, I tell you, we used to have these kids who were, hey Tanzil, we used to have these kids who were music majors, and where I taught they had a really excellent music school, and um, so but all of the, or not all of them, but a lot of music majors would take a minor in like library science or something like that. But, look what happened to library science. Look what happened to accounting. A lot of these things have been outsourced, or more and more have been taken over by computer programmers. That what accountants used to do, somebody just did it at home. Okay, you heading to NYC for Watch Time magazine event in October? You bet. I'm going to that, and I'm looking forward to it. I have a friend who's over Rolex and wants to sell his Explorer One and Hulk. Where should he list them? I tell you, I really don't have that much. I keep my watches. I haven't. I've only um cool Tanzil. The Don said he's going on Saturday, so if you guys are there Saturday, I'll see you guys there then too. Okay, where should he list them? Like I said, I, I sold two watches and they were both on trade-ins, which is about the stupidest way possible to sell your watch. But it's fine. It's like fine, nice. It has to be an artist. You know, Corbin, that's an interesting point. In other words, but there's something about that point is that one of the last craftsmen, um, one of the last crafts around that you can really be a craftsman in is that kind of watchmaking. Also, too, this is I found that in programming. There was there were these guys that I knew that they would start up these little programming businesses, and people would different bigger companies would come and they would say, hey, would you do this for us, this sort of specialized thing. I used to do some of that. I couldn't do it full time because I had a full time job as a professor, but in the same way you could probably um, do the same thing with if you wanted to. If you look at Philippe Dufour and you look at Laurent Ferrier, both of them spent most of their careers working for Patek Philippe before they became independent. F.P. Journe worked for his uncle for a number of years, and then he had some of these little sort of groups that got together and they made them on their own. Uh, anyway, question was, will Spring Drive? Okay, there you go. Moments, movements, I guess. Be next court since Spring Drive has a lot of hype around it now, and both Spring Drive and quartz are made by Seiko or high-end brand like VC and AP start making it. I don't know. I just don't know. Mohammed, that's a good question. I'm not the spring drive. The thing I like about the spring drive is that it's mechanical. So okay, okay, what's shocking going on? Let me see. I just got Bill. What was shocking? Let me see. What did I miss here? Bill is saying something that we say howdy. Let me see if I can find it. Okay. Young folks can't even read analog watches and clocks. Yeah. All right. If that's what you're talking about, Bill, I to me is that um, it's a I don't know. I mean, how could somebody? To me, you know, is to say, um, watch your six. I used to fly. We used to have to call out sort of sighting another plane. The guys at the tower control on an instrument flight would call out, and you can see so and so, and then we'd have to say, yeah, I got them at 3 o'clock high or 3 o'clock low or level or something like that, or 2 o'clock high, 12 o'clock high. That was always my favorite. That means they were right in front of you and high. You don't want to have something 12 o'clock level coming at you. Okay, so how would they do that unless they know about an analog clock? Okay, they can't write. They use hieroglyphics. Actually, this is one thing I wonder about. With all of the texting going on, uh, kids write a lot more than my generation did when we talked. Talk on the phone or talk to each other, but there wasn't much texting. There wasn't as much writing. Um, okay, Steve. Yeah, no problem. All right. Okay, Airtoad. Let's see what you got here. Bought a top grade ETA 2824 from R. Hedgemont of Gretchen, Switzerland for 268. Gonna case it with a 36 millimeter with Explorer style. Ooh, what a great project. That'll be fun, Airtoad. That sounds like a neat project. Um, I like the bigger ones, mainly because they're easier to work on. Okay, we used to say watch your six was growing up on the south side of Chicago. Well, that too. What if they? Well, what if they said watch your nine? There's something coming at you off your left side. Okay, placing watches like IWC brand in-house of cards did not introduce the younger generation of buyers. We need to have characters in computer games wear them. Yeah. Yeah, but they're all wearing Apple watches, Richard. I'm afraid um, telegrams cost money, son. That's right. I don't remember ever sending or receiving a telegram. To tell you the truth, and that's you could do that with a telegram. I think, and people didn't with faxes. When you sent it, the early faxes, it sent it was usually a sort of like they're used for legal documents and contracts and things like that. But we really didn't have a lot of Tanzil. I don't know who told you that. Enjoy texting people. Okay. Can you unblock me from A3C? What's that about, Steve? Writing money via Western Union was outrageously expensive, hence PayPal. Yeah. Oh, let me see. The new gold Apple Watch will be a force to reckon with. What about yeah, okay. Uh, all of the smart watches are going to be. That new iPhone they have, $1,100 there. And they say, oh, it's $1,100. People aren't going to want to buy that. My God, compared to what we spend on watches, that's nothing. And but it's something because I don't want to spend that much money because I want to use it for watch money. But still, I'm very tempted. One of the things that's really great about the new iPhones is that the cameras in them. And since now I do all of my camera work with my iPhone, well, this one uses a built-in webcam, either this one or on my portable. Okay, they'll sell them like hotcakes, and I think you're right, Bill. Um, Steve, you got nothing to be sorry about. Maybe saying stuff about stuff, et cetera, et cetera. Not a problem. Um, you want to, Steve, by the way, I didn't know you got blocked from Archie's. Um, listen, I don't know what all of that's going on. Let's sort of leave that aside and talk about watches. Okay. Okay, I would prefer to wear old-fashioned watches, but you have to admit the new Apple Watch with EGC and all it's pretty amazing. And fall detection, yeah, they got. This is I wear my Fitbit, and the new one I got, they have all kinds of other information. I can tell whether I'm going up and down stairs, um, and a lot of things like that. So, anyway, that's another topic. Well, listen, my 30 minutes is more than up, but I thought we could just sort of kick some things around, and so I've got to go now. And thanks all of you for coming on what was very short notice. And uh, Clyde, there's something I got to talk to you about. And anyway, I have a former friend that lets his IT credentials lapse on Windows 98. Can you, or he'll have to get it. he goes once he goes in the can. Ah, yes. Well, we have a lot of interesting people that appear to be going to the can sooner or later. Tell your wife where you are. Yeah, yeah. She's out with a friend, but she's coming home pretty quick. Hey, besides, there's a couple football games on. I want to catch. So anyway, um, no way that's gonna happen, Corbin. Anyway, thanks again, guys, and off I go. We'll see you in the next stream. Take care. Yes, air toad.